2024. Motion by Mr. Miller, is there a second? Second by Mr. Hanson, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Presentation by HCA Charities, just wanted to request a proposal for 900 and 906 College Avenue, Smith, Wisconsin. I believe that.
Yeah, we just need Ashley to get our presentation up.
Wow. Technical difficulty, already?
In the meantime, we could introduce ourselves though. I'm Bev Dukershine.
Lori Dukershine. Joe Rams.
Yvonne Lance.
We have two board members back here.
Dave Bailey.
Beth Shapiro.
Okay, thank you. That was the second. This is the second. Correct. Yeah. The first one was for the whole life. The second one was for, I think that's 10th Street. Right. Which is everything. Yeah, everything together. Right, no, but this.
We're gonna get rid of land.
Correct.
Not,
Right.
I'm not gonna pick and choose.
And then do I hit that one too, Gina? Thank you.
Breaks it up.
Let's do it up here.
Yeah, the road breaks it up, but not this way.
No, yeah, that doesn't jump, it doesn't jump.
No, it goes all the way down to the road.
You ready?
I don't think so.
I'm just gonna grab my contribution.
Okay, if we can direct your attention to one of these screens here. So we are Firm Foundation Academy, and we are the group that is working to start a new Christian high school. So 9-12 here in Rusk County. And our why, 60% of Rusk County students don't go on past high school. 15 students drop out of high school each year in Rusk County. Our county has 144 young adults, 18 to 24, that are unemployed because they lack skills and training. And employers are desperate for responsible, capable workers, and we want to fill that gap. So next slide. These are some of the workforce challenges. Many have been pushed to attend universities, and in past high school shops, so like woodworking shops, tech ed shops have been underfunded. Students aren't exposed to many trade careers. Not as many students are choosing careers in the trade fields. Companies usually look to technical colleges for their next hires, but the pipeline of candidates are low, and there's low employability skills throughout the workforce. So we feel at the high school level, in our setting, that we can make a lot of changes to those stats. So this is our new logo, and so we are going to offer families an option to traditional public high school. And we want kids to be able to redefine their future with Firm Foundation Academy. A lot of students in high schools today are not motivated. They aren't being taught to their interests, and so we plan to have project-based learning in our school. So, Bill, you wanna speak to this slide, please?
Yeah, the facility off to your left on either side would be the existing facility. We purchased the existing convent building and the 6.2 acres that exists there. And the building off to the right is the 9,500 square foot facility that we're going to be adding. And we're currently putting plans together, and that's really one of the main reasons we're here today, is we don't wanna utilize the whole 6.2 acres for parking. And we need some parking area, in order for the amount of kids that we're going to have and the staff that we're gonna have, we're gonna need 85 parking spots. And we would rather like to utilize the green and the grass area for our gardens and our greenhouses, rather than putting a blacktop parking lot down. And the land that adjoins, that we made the proposal for, that is the land that adjoins our property. So that's, we are planning to open in September of 2026. And the only question here today is, are we gonna be able to utilize and purchase the parking from you, from the county, and that's what our proposal is? Or are we going to have to utilize and put the parking in our green space that we could utilize for gardens and other things? And that, will be further clarified in the coming, pictures and slides that we've got coming up.
Okay, so this is our board of directors. We've been meeting for just about a year now. So Bill is our chair, I'm the president, Gordy's the VP, Heidi Jo Sabakul, secretary, John Jenneman, treasurer, Dave Bailey, who's here, Michelle Bailey, Beth Shapeel, Yvonne Rands. So this is a group of people that are either business people, own their own businesses, homeschool, have education backgrounds or whatever. So we're very blessed to have this group of people serving on our board. And what we have done is we are working with the Herzog Foundation, which has been around for many years, and we have been going through their very detailed training. Their mission, and it was Charles Herzog granted his entire estate, I believe, to help fund or educate startup school boards on the process of starting a school, because it is a daunting thing. So we just completed our last course last night, and so this has given us very professional help. And we are also assigned a mentor, and our mentor has spent his life in Christian education, and he's currently the dean at Maranatha Baptist College in southern Wisconsin. Okay, so as part of our board, we have been touring many schools, and many of them are public schools that are doing some really interesting approaches to learning. And so up there we've listed Venture Academy, Eau Claire, Hope Farm School, Venture Academy is in Eau Claire, Hope Farm School is in Pepin, Wildland School in Augusta, and that is a charter school that's an extension of their public school. Generations Academy, Ladysmith High School, New Richmond SOAR program. We've been reading books on different approaches to learning. And our goal, a lot of students now, they need to comply. That's a part of our educational model right now. And we want to move our students from compliance and control over to independence and trust, autonomy, and high expectations. And so the photos that are up here are Cardinal Manufacturing. It is just an amazing program where it's a student-run business that operates for just 2 class periods a day. And you can see how clean and beautiful it is, and the students there are learning all the soft skills of what we intend to teach our students about what it's like to be ready for the workforce, to be a dependable employee. And part of Cardinal Manufacturing, they use these 10 commandments. They're posted all over their workspace. Be positive, show up, work hard, get along, pay it forward, be flexible, figure it out, join the club, no whining, and keep learning. And Cardinal Manufacturing has been the model for many other startup schools. Beth Shapeel and I just went to a training, an all-day training down there, and they are willing to share everything that they have to help us to succeed. And so while we're not going into student manufacturing, so many principles that Cardinal Manufacturing uses will apply to us. Their culture is just amazing. Okay, then just a couple weeks ago, we toured Wildland School, and that's affiliated with Augusta. And in these photos, the students pretty much all work independently. There's 4 to 5 staff members that circulate and work with the kids to establish what the next project is. They have a point system that helps them determine their qualifications for graduation. They have a waiting list to get into their school, as does Cardinal Manufacturing. So this is another one, we loved their project-based learning here. Any comments on?
One of the things that we observed in both those programs, traditionally in the high school, or I would say grade school too, you got your kids who are at the very top of the class. You don't have to do a lot to help them because they're motivated, they understand what their parents want, and they're into the zone that's gonna do well. But the majority of the kids, unfortunate, a lot of kids don't particularly like school, they're challenged by it, they're not having fun. What we've seen in both of these two programs, these are kids who are eager to go to school, they want to go to school, because they feel that way, they learn much better. That's the type of environment that we want to create, where kids, the parents are amazed because the kids don't wanna miss school, they wanna get there every day because they're anxious to do the things that they're doing in school. And that's the model that we will be making.
The parents are asking the teachers, what are you doing there? They are behaving so differently. They're behaving better at home. And these kids are all kids that can make eye contact. They can shake your hand. They can tell you about what they're doing. They're willing to share. They're so excited about the things that they're working on. And so that is the culture that we want. Okay, in a student-run business teaching model, the instructors, they just talk about the relationship that they have with their students. You just talk to them, it's an everyday thing. They know their students better because they spend all day with them. They learn employability skills, professionalism. The teachers know that they believe in them. What they're learning is real and relevant, so it really causes those kids to be engaged. Delegation, Cardinal Manufacturing especially, the students do everything. The teacher doesn't need to be the expert. In fact, they're very willing to say that they're not. And they say, I can't help you on that, but I know who can, and they connect them to the resources. The students are forced to do their own problem solving. There's no helicoptering where somebody fixes everything for them. They don't know what they don't know, and that's, I think, reflective of teachers and the students. They teach them confidence, and their communication increases. When we have been on the floor of these school buildings, it's been pretty amazing. Self-teaching and higher learning. A lot of the kids in these settings, they go on to college. At Wildlands, especially, in the book that we read, they gave all the universities that their students go to. So it's not just they're entering the workforce or they're going to tech school. The kids will come out with the ability to go on to higher education. There's just really high expectations in the school. But kids won't be forced along at a pace that doesn't work for them. And there's a lot of career planning. Our students are gonna need job shadows and part-time jobs to do well at what they do, and we'll have to facilitate that for them. And that should benefit our county employers. Scholarships, we will need to be helping our students get scholarships to attend our school because it will be a tuition-based school. But then hopefully also they'll qualify for scholarships when they graduate from the many places that prefer this form of education. Financial planning, it's pretty amazing. At Cardinal Manufacturing, all the kids come out with their own 401k. They have brought in financial people to help them because in that setting, they're earning money, and so they teach them financial responsibility. And retirement planning, they show them if they just set aside $50 a week out of their paycheck, what that's gonna mean to them, in the millions of dollars. And then there's just a lot of attention on focus, in details, and all these schools, that we have been in, from everyone that was listed on that one slide, the students are having fun, and you can see it. Okay, we're gonna be a faith-based school, and we're gonna teach strong academics, but those life skills and trades, and in a Christian environment, they're gonna be exposed to horticulture, agriculture, consumer ed, financial acuity, food preservation, entrepreneurial skills, machining, carpentry, and more. And our focus will change based on, because this is project-based learning, it will change on the snapshot of students that we have at that time. Okay, while we're here today, we need parking, and the proximity of those county-owned lots is really helpful. So, what questions do you have for us?
Any questions? Yeah.
What does it cost to go to the school?
That has not been determined yet. Bill, you wanna fill them in on the statistics that we know, and this is where scholarships and the fact we have funding.
Yeah, we're in a capital campaign right now, and, our goal is to raise $8 million, and that's by the day that we open, which is September of 2026. We're currently at 4.1 million. So, it'll be dependent upon how much we raise, but we're hoping to come in around the $3,000 per child per year cost.
Which is similar to the other,
Private schools.
schools in our community.
But that's about half of what it will be for the cost of the student.
Yeah.
So scholarships will be looking to cover the other part of it.
And probably the other part that's really important here, is I don't know if we all really understand the complexity that our young adults are having. We had 2 children that we raised that graduated in 2012 and 2010. And we had 2 that we raised that graduated in 2021 and 2022. 10 years difference. And I can tell you, with that experience, it's incredible the extra degree of difficulty in raising kids 10 years later with the IT and with the phones and with all of the computer and everything that they get involved in. It was just, I mean, our first 2 kids didn't have any of that involvement. There were no phones. Cell phones weren't really a real thing at that point. They were just starting. But our kids that graduated in 21 and 22, it was significant difference. And, you know, the complexity of raising kids today, and we employ, for 40 years I've employed between 4 and 8 kids every year. And I can tell you in the last 10 years, the last 5 years, it's difficult having high school kids come to our shop and you have to teach them everything. They don't have they don't really have a work ethic. We have to teach them everything. After they're juniors and seniors, they're driving our tractors around the yard. They're moving them in and out to wash them. They start with us pushing a broom when they're freshmen. But those are the things, having kids that are functional and have a work ethic. And, you know, the other thing is, you know, I think that, you know, the amount of the children that are struggling, they get lost in school. You know, there's no tech ed department like we used to have. So right now, where do these kids go? I mean, our goal here is to save these children and they're young adults and teach them how to become functional in our society. You know, I talked with a few of you on the board about, you know, the whole jail situation, because in 1980, when I graduated in high school, there was a 10-bed jail here. And now there's a 42-bed jail, and there was 14,000 people in the county in 1980, and now there's about 12,000. And there's a 42-bed jail, and now you're gonna go to like a 62-bed jail. And then in 20 more years, are you gonna have to go to a 100-bed jail? And we're not blaming anybody, we're just saying, this is kind of where our society is going, is our schools aren't addressing the issues that our children, that these young adults have. And we're trying to fill that gap and trying to address the issues to help some of these children. If we can help one young adult that doesn't end up in the social services program or in the jail, what does that save the county? What cost is that to the county to have people that come out of school that don't have a job, that aren't employable? So that's ultimately our goal, is to try to help these children, help these young adults to become functional and become members of society that are valuable, and not members that are in our courthouse, needing assistance and in trouble. So I guess that's really our goal.
Another important update is we are interviewing right now for head of school, because that's a critical hire for us. And even though we are not opening until the fall of 2026, we need that person on board, and our goal date is to have them so that they'll be on the job hopefully June, July of this year. Because there's a lot of policies that need to be
Next year.
shaped. Well, yeah, excuse me, yeah. Yeah,
It's coming, so.
It's coming June. Yeah.
Any other questions? Have, one suggestion might be, have you ever contacted the superintendent of schools at Whitehall? I would suggest contacting them. They have quite a, I don't wanna say different approach and everything, but I think that superintendent likes to move the state rules around to help kids and everything, and they have some quite innovative programs, so I'll just make the
Another one
suggestion,
to-
contact the superintendent of schools at Whitehall, Wisconsin, and I think, that might combine or supplement some of the stuff that you were talking about here. They've done quite a bit of stuff that is not according to textbook or state rules, and I think that might be helpful.
Well, and there are many that are recognizing that there's a gap, in our public schools to fulfilling the needs of young adults. So there is a lot of different schools in our areas. You don't have to go far to find a lot of different schools that are doing different approaches.
That have
Thank
been
you.
very successful, and they've been there for 20 years. People
Yeah.
just don't know about them. Unless you're in that area, you kinda don't know about them.
So
So
thank
what
you
we're
for the
trying to
referral,
do is
Terry.
not that unusual.
Yeah, it won't hurt, I would just make a suggestion to contact him. I know he's willing to, in fact, other schools in the state they're kind of like a pilot thing, they're coming to see what he's done and everything, and, it's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
So our offer is at the current market value, at the appraised value, and the small, I think it's 0.7 acre parcel that's right next to us, we're actually over the appraised value for that. And we did turn in another offer, a proposal to you to split it up, so we're happy to purchase the entire parcel, that's on the east and on the west side of 10th Street, or we're happy to just take and purchase it on the west side, whatever, and that would be at the appraised value price, so I mean.
Yeah, we're not looking for a handout.
Right, we're not asking for anything for free. Fair market price for it.
So would it be, do you make a recommendation on the two parcels?
Well, I would make a motion to,
Oh, I have to leave. It's the second one that I sent you.
I would make a motion for, you had your original one and then you had the supplemental one.
Right.
I would make the motion to adopt the supplemental one. That would be, the ending in 05 for 75 and
the one ending in 60 west of 10th Street for 80.
Correct.
I would make a motion to sell those two.
I need information. At some point, I need that
Well,
information.
we got it here on what Gordy.
Here, one. These are the parcels you talked, right? Just them two?
These two here, those would be
Okay.
most critical for us.
That other one, that one they actually didn't want?
Well, we
We'd split
could,
it.
but
We'd buy it if you didn't, if you wanted to sell it, but we don't need it
at
We
this point.
at
split
this
it.
point.
Split it.
I'd make the motion, if they wanna buy three of them, let them buy three of them.
Well,
I'm trying to get rid of it.
I already made a motion to sell the supplemental, one, which is the first two and, east of 10th Street. Not that one, because that would connect with the other property that's there.
So I have a motion by
So,
Mr.
this one and this one, right, and this one not, their first proposal was for all of this, but this connects, I mean, to the rest of the property going all the way down the river. And so, and this, you know, at some point in the time, it could all come back, but I would make a motion.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Whiteway to go with the second proposal on the two lots.
What kind of money we're talking?
It's for 75,000 plus 80,000, so it's 155,000.
Correct. Yep. And that's the appraised value for those lots.
That would be a motion. There's a second.
I'd second that.
And a second by Mr. Hanscom. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries to sell the two lots to the west of 10th Street. Now, we need to push this to the board. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll have to go to board.
We should get it on to December
Can we,
17th.
Terry, and John, can we put that in the motion for we do the county board?
To December 17th.
Yes.
Okay.
We all good with that? Can you hear us back there, Dan? I keep
No.
forgetting you're back there. We made the motion and seconded the motion to sell the two lots to the west of 10th Street and push it to the county board on December 17th. We already voted, but. What word?
He did say that,
All right. Do you need anything else on that, Connie?
No, Terry will give me the.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on December 17th.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Discussion possible motion, recycling, Charmaine?
How are you?
Good luck in your appointment, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not excited.
On buildings and grounds, trails in, update report, fairground report. So on and so on.
Do you wanna talk about what you've done at Trails End?
On 11/14, I took our crew out to Trails End, dropped 4 dangerous trees that James and Phil come from. So, I took care of that myself. James was out over deer season. And then, while I was cutting, our maintenance department went out, took care of winterizing, finishing winterizing all the buildings, blowing debris out of the gutters, just tidying things up. There's still more work to do.
All right. You got that one, Brett? Fairground report?
On the table in front of you, I have a copy of the RFP that I've got worked up for the new shower facility to go in. And then on top of that, we are looking at a couple, as we discussed yesterday, portable shower facilities and bathroom facilities to get us through in the meantime while that project. don't think the timeline's gonna work. Okay. I mean, huh? You can't. I mean, building one in the spring that quick.
Asking for an explanation, you gotta explain yourself.
Well, I mean, construction season and dirt work usually don't start till May. You know? And that's giving you 2 months to build a building. That's the way construction is going. Just getting materials nowadays is it's a tight timeline.
The goal is to have it completed by the fair.
I think the timeline's gonna be, you're really gonna not get as many bidders. I mean, the way the construction, we got houses 2 years out already that I mean, I do this for contractors, the dirt work, and they're already booked out a year. You're not gonna get as many bidders on this as being this tight a timeline. I mean, in my opinion, but.
But do we want an active construction site during a fair that's got that many people?
Don't have to.
My thought is a safety thing.
Just trying to see what you can get.
If we
I
can
think
get
that's kinda where they're going.
We have, how much we have budgeted for the veterans?
It's 189,000 in the budget and then 64,000 land cap.
I think that includes the 64,000, the 80.
Oh, so it's 180?
Yes.
Jeff is shaking her head no.
Ashley let us know it was 189 plus 64.
I don't think that's true. I think it's just the 189. Let me double check.
But you can, I mean, at least let us try. And then when they come back in January, then, you have the right to reject everything.
Cause if we can get a bidder who can complete it by July, why not?
Yeah, the 189 includes the 64,000.
Where did you see that?
It's in the capital projects budget.
Wasn't bathrooms originally set at 2.25?
It was, but then it was reduced, during the budget process.
I believe finance wanted it to be stick built.
Trying to think of how this went down. And I'm not sure if the lab cap was in that though.
I am certain it was, because it's offset by that 64,000 in the,
So you
in
take
the
the
budget.
64 out, that takes it to, what do we take it down to? You gotta refresh my memory, it's been a couple months now.
So 125,000.
So we took it from 2.25 to 125.
No, we took it from 2.25 to the 189.
Maybe wasn't there a motion made in
So-
finance for the lab cap fund?
Yes, but that, what's budgeted for the expense is
We spend
189.
on state approved plans and then we just throw them out the door.
We are not, this is not stick built. We are going according to the state approved plans.
We're sticking to the plans. The money was spent for the state approved plans.
Do you wanna explain why stick
Yeah.
built wouldn't work?
Stick built, it's a building that is made to be wet all the time. You build it out of, you go stick built, the smallest problem you're looking at could be a major repair in less than 10 years involving mold. If you go concrete floor, block built, all you have to worry about is keeping the fan running to keep it dry, which is in the bid to have ceiling fans as well, proper ventilation. You keep it ventilated, you don't have to worry about it.
I've built 2 of these.
Well, you should just make some time for
Well,
us
I
then.
was involved in building 2 of those.
So we get that timeline done.
Because if we send it out and find someone who's willing to do the work and is willing to take on that timeline, why not send it out?
Where does it say it's gotta be the block or, where, it's just gotta follow state approved plans, right?
Yeah,
What page is this one?
So, one of the questions I had is we've been, we got 2 that, were involved in up by, Grace County. They're actually pouring the walls, the outside walls, the brick in the inside. It's cheaper to pour the wall, the outside walls, than it is to brick them. Because of the labor intensity of outside walls and then board walls, and then you block your inside, cause that's where you gotta run all your plumbing. So, I mean, as long as people are bidding on it, that's an option for them, that they don't have to do it all the outside out of block. Cause the board wall's gonna be just as strong as the block wall. It'll be actually stronger.
Yep, and that's right, these plans are sent in prior to my employment with the county.
Yep.
I would absolutely be open to, it does account for a 4-foot board frost wall as well. I know some guys prefer the laid brick frost wall, save a little bit of money that way as well, depending on the company that does it, that I've talked to, so absolutely, there's some leeway, as well as this plans. They've got standing seam on the roof, they have LP smart siding for the fascia. You can save a lot of money going to aluminum, it's gonna last you just as long as LP. There's places in this plan to save money, as well as we're looking at putting it in place for, myself and the maintenance crew to take down the current building. Once we have a bidder, once we know that we're good to go, that's gonna save us some money as well. Then it's just rental of what little equipment we don't have, we shouldn't be for more than a day, kind of roll off and we'll be able to dispose of that. So that's gonna save money on the bid as well, not requiring demolition.
But is all that you're talking about, is that in the proposal that's being sent out, the RFP, stating that you're only bidding on this or that, board walls or block walls or what? Proposal, I mean, you've gotta make sure that everybody's got the same, thing to bid on and not change it afterwards. So, that's my question,
That's where I left the language in the RFP, which, let's see if we get to it. It is the construction of the shower facility. To me, that language leaves it open for someone to look at a block wall and say, we can pour the walls. Or we can set a block foundation instead of pouring the frost walls, things like that. It's not word for word, in that RFP, it leaves room for contractors to, give opinions and ideas as well.
But then you're not comparing necessarily apples to apples either. Standard set that you're asking them to bid on.
Yeah, but if it comes in as a block wall or a part wall, that's gonna be two different bids.
Not really.
Well, it varies, yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with it, but, so would January 7th be our next meeting? What?
Yeah, it'd be January 7th.
So, I would say we change the deadline to that, to earlier in the week. And you just do a bid opening, you go through them and you compare it. You have your notes to explain to us why this bid is this, why this bid is this. We're not sitting at this table trying to compare. You know what I mean? Cause you'll open them up with char, and you gotta do it here so people can come and watch. But you can give us a summary of each bid, because you've actually studied them. We're not trying to do it here. We've been doing that in forestry and even highway, where they open them up earlier.
Yeah, we could do that,
Yeah, so
that's a
you-
very good idea.
Yeah.
Because for us to sit here and debate what the contractor's doing this, what contractors,
Right.
you'll be able to look at the bids and explain to us why it's due that way.
It sounds gonna be good enough though, based on the holiday and all the transitioning.
Probably not.
Well, this is why for 2 years I've been asking for money designated so we wouldn't be this crunch. Now we're forced to do crunch, and we will make it happen if you let us. Just give us the opportunity.
The question is, don't you think February meeting? Or is that pushing it too far?
I think so.
I just think January seventh is too tight considering the holidays.
That's only 3 weeks away, right?
It's right around the corner.
4 weeks, maybe, not even?
Four, today's the fourth.
You back it off 2 days for him to open it up.
4.5 weeks.
Open a Monday?
I'm just throwing it out there, I don't care which way we go.
But then if, again, you're not comparing apples to apples, so then you may have to go back to certain bidders or whatever, and then that's.
I'm really just tired of talking about this shit show. I've been here listening to this since the day I got on this board, and the money's there, and here we are sitting, pissing around at this table again. So
That's
let's
why I'm
just make
bringing
a
up
damn
the bid.
decision.
You know, so everybody bids on the same thing.
Once again, you can reject them all.
What do you think, Jerry?
Well, I think with Christmas and New Year's coming up, I mean, that's a week, most people. Christmas is in the middle of the week, New Year's is in the middle of the week.
We understand this is not
I would say
ideal.
let's move it to February, opening in February, but, or the end of January. They'd be in at the 29th. That gives 3 days to go over the bids. So you can compare them, and if you had questions for each contractor, you can get a hold of them. Why did you bid it this way? So when you come to us, you got all the information, you can explain to us why, what's going on.
So you want that proposal submission deadline moved to which date, just so
I would say January 28th or 29th. That gives you 3-4 days to go over them before you bring it to us. If you have a question for the contractor, you can get a hold of them.
we move that change?
Being Christmas, Christmas is in the middle of the week, New Year's is in the middle of the week, so,
We need a motion for that.
yeah, but if we're changing the date on this, then my motion would be to send it out. Yep.
Is that your motion?
Yep. Change the deadline date to the January 29th, to be in, and then you have to come in the room here, one of the rooms open at 3 o'clock that day, Connie. 29th,
Let me look right now.
well, we're putting it on a proposal, so you gotta have the room to open the bids, cause if a contractor wants to come in, he has the right to come in. So you open the bids.
Could be in the small conference room too.
I can look right now.
Should we do it earlier than 3?
Make it noon?
Yeah, we don't have to be there, but it's gotta be opened up in the public, so if somebody wanted to come see you, they can.
Yeah, that would give,
Cause you're not making a decision on which bid, you're just opening them, going over them, so you can come with us. Cause we can know how many times we open bids and.
that would give the contractor roughly 4.5 hours to make it before end of business hours here.
It is open on the 29th, so what time do you wanna do that? Okay,
January 29th or 28th?
whatever you choose, 29th is open, 28th is open.
28th, whatever day you want, Tuesday.
That's what I wrote down, I just wanted to make sure.
28th at noon.
And then it should say the bids would be open that day. Just a note at the end of the package or something, cause if a contractor wants to come into the bid opening.
So the submission deadline is January what?
28th.
28th, at what time?
Noon.
Noon?
Then,
Alright, that was Jerry's motion, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, second. Second by Mr. Hanson, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
well. We do have, you approved us to go get prices, and we did. So we have prices for windows, for $5,800 and another one, but we are way under budget. Here, I'll just hand them to you. Look at them. So we are looking at siding, windows, and roof for, a little over $12,000, which is significantly under what we, budgeted for. We still have to do doors, but, we're very pleased with what we got.
How many windows was that again?
What?
Windows was that?
I believe
9, 11.
11?
Yep. There's 9 same size or versus.
Oh, I
And
see.
then there's 2 large, one above the sink and one directly behind, the one on the south, one on the north, that are larger. These are Weather Shield, they gave us a wonderful discount. Actually, 2 different ones that they put in, so we'll be staying local. Company,
That's just material list? Just doing the
that's,
work.
we are window, so there won't be any cost.
Budget.
it's budgeted, all out of fair budget.
Well, this one here breaks down.
Will this fall in the 25 budget?
Yes. Yes, we budgeted in $25,000.
So there's just 2 bids here, right? One for windows and one for roof and siding.
Correct.
I don't think more.
The one that's over,
The old last building. Here.
Oh, that's the older one.
one that's on the east end of the track.
Where the dairy breakfast is.
Motion by Mr. Miller to approve, your second. Mr. Hanson seconded, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Number 3, additional water lines for new vendor sites.
Yeah. Last month, I believe, we were here, talking about a fence. Putting a fence here. Right along here. We have a very large camping group coming in. I know you guys don't deal with usage, but we have about 20 campers coming in, big, huge RVs. And, so we have creme de la creme power here. So we updated the campground map. And then during the fair, we are going to have our vendors here. So it just makes sense to add water. So not necessarily for camping, but this group is coming here this year. If we were without bathrooms and showers, then at least there's something on the ground. So temporarily campers could have water here as well, but mainly it would be used for fair, so, maybe fair is requesting that they do water lines
Where they pulling that?
That would be pulled from that north bathroom.
right here in our bathroom. hope to, you know, get it done in the spring. I mean, we winterize everything, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Assuming you're gonna trench that all the way down there. Underneath the ground.
That'll remain to be seen, once we have a final from, the fair board gets talked to them about getting our final location of that fence. That'll dictate where we shoot that line across to put that water line in.
When you say water, are you multiple spigots or just spigot or?
It's not gonna be one per camper. I think, just, were we talking like three to five, somewhere in there?
I had heard 4 total.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's
Four
flexible.
spigots?
What's the cost?
Well, we just need the approval to do it before we go and get, prices.
And this should be out of the fair?
Yes, yes, cause I have to do then, a plan approval for the campground. You just can't alter things like that without getting approval. So wanted to bring it to you to get that, so that I can go get the approval from Maggie on second floor, and then we'll run with it and bring prices back. But if you were just gonna say, no, we don't want water, didn't wanna,
Motion to go ahead and have the project. Motion by Mr. Hanson, to start the project.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Forget about you, Dan.
I heard you.
Okay. You don't have to say so. Man left.
Yeah, after that was on our agenda, I had spoken with you in the hallway about, we're looking to get some kind of equipment, because when it comes to, light bulbs on the backside, south side of the library, use around the fairgrounds, some sort of extendable man lift would be coming very handy for us, safety wise as well as just, convenience. I do know that it was brought to my attention that the highway department does have a couple of them, for rent, that we could possibly look at that. I had looked at some prices on man lifts, and biggest reason I guess we're looking at it is just cause our equipment budget is so low for next year, so it's something that we would use quite a bit if we get approval to start looking at prices to add that piece of equipment, or if the board would prefer if we were to rent from.
I'm sure they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, anyway. Find them, yeah, they're about in the 16 to 30.
In my opinion, you have to justify using it just to.
Daily.
Right, to justify paying something like that. You really need to use it 12, 15 times a year to spend that kind of money on a piece of equipment. Highway has to.
I guess I'll have to take it from the highway.
If I'm remembering right though, I think the lawnmower was supposed to be on the schedule, so they should have been coming out next year. There.
I was never involved with that, so I don't know about that.
I thought they were on like a 4-year rotation, so I don't know where them are at, and I'm sure there's some older lawnmowers up the fairgrounds you're gonna wanna replace too. Lawnmower ain't cheap either, you know.
I'm not up to date on that, so I
Right.
Well, we do have the new Batwing though.
We do have.
Right.
Yeah.
Which that helps.
That's at the, airport.
No, we bought
No,
another
we
new
got a
one.
different one. Yeah, cause now we have to do the old clinic area, the fine arts, yeah, so,
Oh, yeah, moving on.
okay, what's,
Animal River Outfitters damage repair.
So when it was burglarized, some damage was done to the building. Cheryl will be pulling those pictures up. I guess just to let everyone know, the person who broke in, attempted to light a number of small fires. He ruined, mostly the computers, which were personally owned, so we're not talking about that. Here, they just required some shelving from the, old grocery store. He tried to start that on fire, so there's some burn marks on the carpet. It is a high traffic area there. The carpet's, it's very worn everywhere in the building. So I guess basically I just wanna see how the board wants to proceed, if you would wanna look at replacing all the carpet in the store, or if that's something we wanna try and get an area rug, to cover up. Ceiling tiles were damaged as well when they pulled the cameras down. The camera was owned by, Rod, so he's taking care of that expense personally. We'll just have to order some ceiling tiles, which is the same ones that the courthouse uses, to replace 9 ceiling tiles. The ones that were, what's that? This was December, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact date on the burglary.
About 3 weeks ago.
Sunday morning about 4.
It's about 3 weeks ago. Stole a bunch of guns.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago?
About 3 weeks ago, yeah.
About 3 weeks ago. It's not December, yeah, it was in November, I apologize. This is December.
So yeah, they are doing an insurance claim. Our insurance company, you have to have a $10,000 deductible. Ashley, did look at the lease and, believes it's our responsibility, so.
Our insurance ain't.
This would not be
There's just
even
not-
close to an insurance claim.
Yeah, there's
No.
not $10,000.
Yeah.
We just need direction of, how small or big, what do we do?
What area is that in?
If you go back one picture sharp, sorry, 2. You see, right next to the, well, just down from the register in front of the guns, kind of their main walkway through the center. Just so happened that they had just put that shelving there, and that's what the person thought would start on fire when they lit underneath it. So, it was pegboard.
We can't even start a fire. Jesus. What size
How
of
big an area would it be to
Yeah.
recarpet?
Yeah.
Or an area rug like you mentioned?
I should have checked on the square footage of the building, and I did not. So I can't give you an accurate quote on that. It is, if you've been inside, it's fairly large.
I'm here every day and I've never been in that building.
Why have you done it?
The carpeting is really old.
It's fair, I would.
How many years did that carpet in?
That building ain't on
Property?
fire, right?
By the way, look
That one we
at
don't track like the other buildings, usually it's solely owned by us. So there's no like debt on it, but
We're getting ready, just time for there.
it's only $700 a
Yes,
month.
so we need to reevaluate that
Only
lease.
$700 a month, so it's not much.
It was signed in 2017, so it needs to be one that to be looked at, but it just renewed end of October, so.
700 again.
Yeah, it's an auto renewal.
This is a place to come rent buildings.
Well, that's not on the agenda,
No, but being that the building may not be here, depending, we wanna know, should we start small? Because they are wondering what we're going to do.
Seems like a pretty small spot, you can put an area rug over it for now. But see what happens.
So you do that for now, but it will still, measure it out, see how much it is, and see what it costs.
Right.
So, upgrade the building.
Okay, so you do want a quote to upgrade carpet?
I mean, you're saying the carpet's that bad in the building, I mean,
back next month with that.
No.
Courthouse. Adams, where you can go.
Yes, I have a quote from Access Security, to get us moved in for $1,113. That's for the camera license, the camera itself, wiring, installation, and programming walkthrough.
I'm assuming that would be a yearly cost.
I believe that is an upfront cost. Walter Neal, I'll refer to you guys on that. Is there a yearly cost on those cameras that to be installed?
For the licensing, that is actually the yearly cost, it's not very much per camera. One thing we need to be careful of is adding another camera. We are already kind of near the limit for retention, so adding another camera, we'll have to see that, we may have to add more storage to that.
Okay, so, let's just break this down a minute. Where it's at, doesn't cost us anything. If we move it, it's gonna cost us money. That wasn't intent, that was not the intention, so. Up to you guys what you wanna do, but in my opinion, it should stay where it's at. It's gonna incur costs.
Then can you change employee cards so they can do postage when they come in
I think
after
that's
normal
something
hours?
we should look into. That's been a question that's been raised more than once. Anybody else train thought?
We put a camera in the mailroom?
No.
There's nothing in there right now.
There's nothing
We
in
don't
there
need
now,
it.
but it's in the clerk's office area.
Right.
If we have to put a camera in that mailroom, we can move it across. or in that-
Right. So if we don't do anything, there's no cost.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the intention was, is it didn't cost, in my opinion, you know, we're struggling budget wise now, that's saving every penny, let's just add more to the pile, leave where it's at then. But,
I guess I don't understand the big deal about coming in after hours and using postage. They ought to be able to plan their workload and whatnot and get in there when the office is open.
everybody has different hours.
For example, the 4-H educator attempted to do a mailing on Friday, has no access because the courthouse is closed, but we can still get in and out. Some places, I mean, a lot of departments do not leave at 12:30 when the courthouse closes. So I get it, ideally, yeah, you should plan, but, sometimes work and life just doesn't.
A lot of it probably.
There's not a lot of people after the 12:30 mark though, honestly, because mail goes out of town at 1:00. So if you don't get your mail into the post office by 1:00, it does not go out.
1:15, I think.
1:30.
Changed it.
Okay, you're not there.
Yeah,
That's kind of
small.
so, everybody's trying
So
to.
what did they move over there already? That's just a delivery, right?
Because it was recommended from the sheriff's office to put a security cam in there, so that's what Brett did, got us close and all that. Again, I'll get back to my statement, thing I just said, it's gonna incur cost and a yearly cost, it's not costing us nothing now. Leave it as that. So, I guess, we need a motion to authorize it, leave it where it's at.
Yes, what do you wanna do? Whatever you decide.
Well,
The motion to leave it where it is.
Probably.
Correct, so
Yeah.
it would be in, it would be.
I'll make the motion of the north.
Motion by Mr. Miller, to leave mail room where it's at.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Wedwick, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Train heating quote,
We had a team come in, they took a look at our system, did a yearly update. We found air handler 3, there's a bad heat valve in it, that's on the quote. as well as a status relay for the boiler pumps. Those are bad on our main boilers down in the basement. We changed the programming on air handler 4 to help with our overheating problem that was going on upstairs, as well as the damper in courtroom number 1, that was the one stuck open, so that courtroom was very hot. Milt came in, he did a repair on that. We haven't received a bill for that yet, so that'll come next month, but the quote we have is for digital actuator on air handler 2, pulling some new wire, checking operation of all units, and then that boiler check, which resulted in that finding the fault in the status relays, that comes to $5,625 to get our heating system all up to snuff, operating as it should be.
5,000 what?
$625.
Courthouse repairs.
Was this at the end of that?
That one was fixed on that date, but we have not got the bill for that yet.
This just fixes the air handlers.
Yeah. The boiler pumps and the air handlers.
Yeah.
Was everybody from, overheating in certain weeks and not in others?
Yes, and it has been so much better, cause I was getting train alerts repeatedly. So he came, he evaluated, he gave us some training, and by doing that training, we were able to see the air handlers and see that such a high temperature, and we questioned it, and he went over, he's like, yeah, we got an issue, so it was, and he was here to fix that actuator, that it was supposedly gonna take 2 days, but it only took him a couple hours, so that should be under budget. But, it was very beneficial that he sat down with all of us and we were able to see, it's like a blueprint of everything, and that's how we pinpointed some of the issues, so this would take care of them.
Is that a courthouse budget?
Correct.
And what do we got for courthouse budget?
Yes, there's still money in the repair line, yes, yes. Courthouse repair,
Would that be done this year or next year?
They're usually pretty timely, I would imagine they would be able to get to that goal within this year, very early next year.
there's plenty of money next year, but we hope to get it this year.
But they usually get up pretty quick. Milt is local, so
Spend it on this year's budget, next year.
Yeah.
I can definitely push to get it done before December's up.
Motion by Mr. Miller, second. Second by Mr. Hanson, for training code $5,625 out of the courthouse repairs budget. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. For airport sale of 99 Ford 250, pick them up.
They still have not gotten back to me on what would happen since it was, the 95% was funded by them, so we'll just keep moving it back to the next month, pretty please.
Okay, motion for that.
But Brent still has things to talk about at airport.
I do. I got a call from one of the pilots that comes in, unfortunately after I could have an addendum added. He had mentioned plugging into the building, the planes have a block heater, similar to a pickup. Getting plugged into the building and then using our tie downs as well, for those that don't store their airplane inside the hangar. In this gentleman's case, he flies up from Ripon to see his mother, usually stays for a couple of days and flies home. So I thought I'd look at if we added a fee for tie down and tarmac storage, because there is planes that we plugged into our building in the winter. It's gonna incur some costs on our electric bill. I don't think it needs to be much, but as much as the airport has been costing us lately, it would be nice to be able to recoup a little bit of that money lost there.
And just in the few months that I was intro, I had at least had 3 people ask me what the rate was, and I had to tell them, well, it's free. But we can do some research with other airports, see what they do, and then come back, but we would like to set a rate for that, cause we're just giving our stuff away. And, like in one instance, just recently, Probably want to tell them about how they got frozen in.
Yeah. The guy he called me after hours because the tie downs are set down into the ground, where a basic strap hooks onto the plane, keep the wind from getting under it. The straps were frozen down, he was able to find a screwdriver, the hole was frozen down, he found a screwdriver to pry out the ice, use the tie downs for his plane. Well, when he left the straps frozen into the ground, just unhooked him from his plane. I feel like if there's a fee that would try and keep that from happening, because that's an issue. If we were to come through, if it snowed, we came through with a brush or the plow, we're gonna start ruining some stuff. So if there's a fee and people have to put their name in a book, they're gonna be accountable for what they leave behind. So if damage or cost is incurred, we know where that damage or cost came from.
Put together and bring it back next month. Moving on, sheriff's transfer the East Fire Pier Hawkins Water Tower antenna from Rusk County to Hawkins Fire Department. You on this?
I guess I am. Okay, so we're in the middle of a radio project. We are moving some towers. Years ago, so every single one of our tower sites has a law antenna and a fire antenna. And we used to have sites at Hawkins, Ladysmith, up on top of the hill by Christie Mountain, and Sheldon. Well, over the course of the last couple of years, we've moved a couple of those tower sites to better fit the needs for our radio communications. We abandoned the law antenna in Hawkins, and we put our new law tower site in Ingram. Who owns that tower? Overby in Ingram. We are now moving that tower from Ingram to Glen, Florida because it's higher. Well, we left Hawkins Fire on the Hawkins Water Tower because that's where they wanted their antenna. We did not want our antenna there because with our law antenna there, there's a radius around those antennas that it covers, and we didn't need to cover 15 miles into Price County. That doesn't help us. We're tearing down with this new radio project. We're getting rid of all of our old antennas and adding new antennas because a lot of ours are old. That one that's on the Hawkins Fire Tower for their fire department is still there. They are requesting that we allow them to keep it there. So I asked GenCom, who got the bid for the new tower project, how much a new antenna is. And they said about $1,500. That fire antenna that's there is years and years and years and years old. So if we asked Hawkins Fire to buy it, we might get $100 or $200 for it. So we're asking the committee to just give that antenna to Hawkins Fire because they are an entity of public safety. It's not a private company. We'd like just to leave that antenna on that water tower for them and not have them pay us a couple $100 for it. I did ask GenCom when they do go around to all of our new tower sites and old tower sites, if there are antennas that we can reuse that aren't pretty much junk, I'd like to keep a couple of them. So in the future, when one of our new antennas gets struck by lightning, we can take one of those old-ish antennas to replace it, not to buy a new one.
Okay, so is there a motion to go to the Hawkins Fire Department? Motion by Mr. Miller, is there a second? Second by Mr. Hanson, to give Hawkins Fire Department the old antenna. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Administrative coordinator.
Okay, so in your packet, you have two documents, related to the Tony Rail Yard. So right now, we have a lease with Excel Energy to have their mats out there. They would like to re-up their lease for 2025. After talking to the chair, we're proposing a 3% increase in the rent, so that would bring it to $45,320 on the year. Those payments are due quarterly, so that's $11,330. They also did submit an offer to not an offer, a letter of interest in purchasing some of the land out there. I don't make decisions, so I have to bring everything to the committee. I have paperwork for you. So we had an EDA grant to develop this site out there. There is a covenant, so while the agreement and the mortgage were up, in 2018, yeah, there's a covenant that goes with the land. Yep. So it would be my recommendation to not do anything with that letter of interest, but I do believe we should re-up the release.
Motion by Mr. Miller, is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Wendrick, to remove lease.
Yeah, that's,
For like as presented.
As presented.
yeah, there's 43,320 in the lease.
320 or 325, Ashley, I thought you said 325.
45,320.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries to renew that solid energy lease, 2025. I don't know if you did anything in this letter of intent yet, maybe we'll read this loud first.
So you recommended not doing that with the letter of interest?
Yes, at this time, because there is that covenant that goes along with the land, so any purchase, we would need to have discussions with the EDA. And I'm not sure we are at a point where we would want to do that.
Do we know where the original purchase agreement is, based on that covenant?
I don't have, no, remember I couldn't find that last night? When you were in my office, and I was looking for it.
Can we get our hands on it?
Yeah, I'm sure we have it, I had like 10 minutes
Let's
to
get it.
look for it.
Alright, so letter of interest was really nothing to do with it. Number 7, insurance claim covers, reviewing insurance claims and cover car usage. What? What did I miss?
Well, that, we did.
There you go. Yeah, college and everything.
We don't wanna revisit.
No, you go. Okay,
Sorry. I sent you guys the reports, nothing really new. County cars are breaking even, which is what we like to see. We don't have the November fuel purchases, or fuel charges posted yet, but also the, usage isn't posted either, so. Yeah. So working through insurance renewals for 2025, but
easy peasy.
coming along.
Okay. Done? Good? IT?
system we can really see.
Alright. Far as audio in this room, we have been in discussion.
I'm glad it happens to you when you're sitting right here. When it happens. Yeah.
Alright. We have been in discussions with audio architects about what we can do with the current, actually maybe I'll start off with their email. Place to start. I do not have a firm quote from them, but we have been in discussions about what we can do with what we have. We have talked about reprogramming this center thing so it's better focused on the center as a preset for situations like this where the meeting is in the center of the room. That would probably just be, time and labor on their part. Otherwise, has been discussed with Jason, one of their owners, of doing a system like they did in Menominee, and I do not have a firm quote on that. He was saying for Menominee it was around 42,000. That would be changing this up, try to do better with the space we have. If you want us to get a firm quote from them, we can.
I thought there was somebody else that was also looking at this.
There is, and we can go to that one next. I'm just saying, with the current company we're on, that's where we're at.
Don't hurt to just see.
Do you want a firm quote from them?
Yeah, it don't hurt to see
Okay.
what their quote is.
Okay. And he is, I believe, talking wireless speakers, or microphones, because this room is not very easy to be wired. Unless we don't care. I'm aware. So, this is the other one, this is Heartland Business Systems. Again, they are suggesting a wireless solution. We're talking 49,000 just in equipment. Roughly. And then fixed fee, this is actually, all the stuff go along with it, installation, time, that kind of fun stuff. You're talking a grand total of 75,733. That's for a wireless solution. If you want it wired, they give that as an option. That would be 26,329 for wired, and I'm not exactly sure how they broke this down. We're supposed to be having a meeting with them tomorrow, unfortunately. Which would be 71,092, if assuming that everything is all wonderful. You're talking 75,000.
Well, I don't think we're all in disagreement that it's something that needs to be done.
Correct.
It's just a matter of figuring out the right price, the right place to go to. So, I'd like to see where the other company comes in at, maybe priority. Kind of know the layout.
I thought that they or this company or another one was going to do something that could make this more direct or louder or something without changing very much stuff.
That is correct. There would be time and, time to do that. If you want us to incur that, I don't know how much that would cost. I think they're about $90 an hour. It's a question of what.
But I thought, we discussed that before, something they could juice something up here or.
They can.
I thought they already did once, weren't they in here?
They were in here, and they were playing with what we have. says, I just submitted proposals to my nominee city council to upgrade their system to the Microflex conference product and scan at 42,000. Standard Microflex would be less expensive on the short part side, but possibly need more additional rack equipment. That'd be possibly more rack over here. So it might not all fit, this might have to go up. I don't know exactly what the nominee city council room looks like, as far as, you know, compared to us, or even size wise.
Kind of what I want to do in my spare time.
Right, and that might be a thing where we want, audio projects, they have a very large number of clients in the area, to say, hey, here's some of our other things we've done. Cause I know we've done that past with corporate stuff, compared to.
I'd like to see a big example, for sure.
Okay.
But your train of thought is,
I mean, if you want us to do that,
This is what they had talked about at one time, and we don't know what.
I think we talked about it.
42,000, 75,000. In my mind, that's a no-go no matter what. Give everybody a megaphone.
I don't know, I've seen her, they spend foolish money on other stuff that costs money because.
nothing audio is cheap. That's just the unfortunate reality.
Well, I guess look into this, you know, but then.
Okay, get a quote for, and I'm assuming it's not gonna be much, 'cause it's gonna be
Right, see what
maybe
you
an
can do
hour
there,
per
let's
everything.
start small and see where we can go from that, and then
Maybe get an actual quote for upgrade, side grade, whatever we're doing here.
you know, see if we spend foolish money on other shit, but we can't afford to put in a system first, everyone will want to get slow, right? Okay. Let's see. Well, IT department updates and reports.
For the ARPA funding, we received we got a quote from Heartland Business Solutions for a, cybersecurity overview and penetration testing, that fills out the $18,000, which is the last of the ARPA money that, we need to spend by the end of the year. I would highly recommend that we do this. It will give us an insight on any vulnerabilities that we have in our system and also recommendations on how to correct those vulnerabilities that we have. I've got a proposal I have to make sure, I apologize, I just got this today, I didn't get a chance to get it over to you guys, but I can make sure to get it to you. It is something that is an industry standard to do for an IT system at least every few years. And it's something that I would highly recommend. I've done it in previous municipalities and it is very helpful for the IT department to have.
What does it exactly do?
Well, there's gonna be two phases of it. One, they will do an internal security assessment of our systems to see if we have any vulnerabilities from, you know, internal people accessing things that they shouldn't be able to access, stuff of that nature. And then the second part is where they will do what's called a penetration test from outside. They will actually try and access our systems.
See how strong our firewall is.
Firewall and all the other security systems we have up, yes, sir.
Is that 18,000 going to be, cover it?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, I know.
That is a flat fee that covers all of it, yes, sir.
Is this the same 18,000 that we've heard forever on ARPA funds, or is this something additional?
This is, are we talking about the,
Cybersecurity.
okay, yep. Yeah, so that's going to get spent by year end?
Yes.
Yes. Can you just make a motion to approve it so we can get it
So move.
paid next week?
Motion by Mr. Bellers, and a second by Mr. Hanson, all in favor, say aye to approve the 18,000 for the ARPA project security testing.
Right?
Aye. Oh, yes. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Not any more on that.
No, sir.
Alright, I think, let's do with that.
He has authority under facilities manager, correct? Yes,
Are we right?
yes.
So, I guess it's kind of, gonna have to be in.
Well, we're coming to get some things.
Alright, I just
It's
wanted,
being looked at, just, I hate to make this wordy, but
I understand, I just wanted to make sure I said,
we learn, we're not moving too off the
I'm glad to hear that.
We appreciate that.
I understand that there's a lot on the plate, there's a lot going on, so please be patient. We're trying to help as best we can with what we need. We are looking at it, like this, so I can't say much.
And then, I don't think it was actually on the agenda, but someone had asked about the E.O. Johnson quote, and you do have the E.O. Johnson quote, but we don't have any quotes from any other.
I believe the RFP was approved to go out, but it never went out,
Correct.
so,
We need to review that RFP.
for the copies,
Copy printing, right now we're on a month.
They wanted the contract.
They would love to have a contract.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
So, yeah, you may get through that on.
right, yes, it's on the to-do list.
Yeah, just laid it on me, on my desk yesterday.
Good, Brad, what are you doing? You've been here a week.
Yes, Brett's gonna learn a lot about copiers and printers, and things that will keep him up at night, just roast.
Alrighty, other than that, are we good? For the time being?
For the time being,
And just keep the communication waves open if you guys need something.
alright?
Thank you. Approve the bill report.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Miller, second by Mr. Hanson to approve the bills, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Bills are paid, set the next meeting date of January seventh, according to what everybody said.
Tuesday, it's a Tuesday.
Well, when is it?
Well, you want it on New Year's Day, first Wednesday of the month.
Well, why not? I didn't have a week.
It can't be on the eighth because we have emergency management services. Put it on your phone.
Do you not have the wonderful calendars that the clerk's office provided?
It's in my,
Yes.
it's in my pickup. So what are you guys thinking?
The 8th.
The eighth?
Maybe we have emergency management services.
So they can move.
No, that's the second Tuesday, that's day.
You guys have it at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yep.
You are actually up that early?
I'm here.
It's on a Wednesday, the 8th.
Emergency management
You gotta be careful here because it's the same time with BJ Lane. We can move it to the 5th.
What about the 7th in the morning?
Let me look at the calendar,
Full board isn't till 6.
7.
the 17th.
7th, we got
Seventh.
board at 6.
Hang on, John,
Yeah.
I thought we were canceling the other, or postponing the other two with Andy
Oh,
until,
you're right.
yep,
You're right.
so I don't think there will be board that night.
This one will be open now, the 7th.
So the 7th, no county board meeting?
That was my understanding, yes.
Right, the one on the 17th is, canceled based on what Andy said.
No, the
No,
17th is
no.
our normal board meeting.
No, I get it, I'm saying with Andy, listen to what I'm saying. Wow. The 17th with Andy has been canceled, but the board meeting is still on.
Yes.
But the January 7th with Andy, we can cancel until we get what we're doing in motion.
Right.
So the 7th would be open for us to have property. Right? What everybody's kind of agreeing on here?
Nothing changed.
we having the seventh then?
I'm waiting for everybody else to answer whether it's okay or not.
I'm fine with the 7th.
Cause you don't have to come.
No, I'm gone New Year's,
Harry?
first I'll be in Michigan.
As far as I know now, the seventh is okay.
7th, 8 o'clock.
Get my snowmobiling in.
I was wondering,
What'd you say?
just in case we don't get it on here.
Yeah, we're going to Michigan, beginning of the year.
Alright, so, January 7th, 8 o'clock.
Full board on the 17th of this month is canceled then?
No.
No, that's still on.
It's
It's just Andy and Sarah will be there.
Amy and Eddie's. Alright, otherwise it's a normal week.
Should be quick though.
What? I can't hear you.
Should be quick.
Might be opposite.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Miller, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Anderson to adjourn, all in favor, say aye. Aye.